God, I love that sound. Good afternoon, Professor, morning, evening, whichever time you're watching this. And welcome to a very special video by yours truly. Today, I'm showing you something that is quite near and dear to my heart. At the time I'm recording this, I had mentioned it to you not even a couple days ago. But by the time you're gonna see this, of course, it's just after finals week, and of course, this is my final gift to you for the summer. Today we are playing something very near and dear to my heart. A game that I hinted at in CIS 1A that I'm finally coming full circle to show you today. Today we are taking a look at a game that, for me, not only established my deep love for a franchise that for the longest time I always considered to be this generic, very uninspired series, and made me have a whole new opinion and find a whole new lease on life, if you will, for this franchise. So today we are playing, if I pull out the cartridge here, Metroid: Samus Returns, released on September 15th, 2017 for the Nintendo 3DS lineup of systems. This game is an interesting one. So, as the game opens, I will quickly set the scene for why this game was so huge in 2017. Not only that, but was a big turning moment for Metroid as a series. So, Metroid Samus Returns, again, was released on September 15, 2017, and is a full remaster of the 1991 Game Boy classic, Metroid 2 Return of Samus. This game almost completely changes what that original Game Boy classic was, with new controls, new graphics, new bosses, and just in general, making this game much, much better than its original Game Boy counterpart. The Game Boy counterpart, don't get me wrong, for the time, was an amazing game. Very forward-thinking, very innovative for its time, especially expanding on the original Metroid from the NES released in 1986. It was about time that game got a sequel. One of my main problems with the original Metroid 2, which I do have on here in the form of the Virtual Console version that was released on the 3DS, it has some glaring problems. Some of the controls are a bit finicky. Some of the music is ear-grating and not all that pleasant to listen to. The bosses are super generic and not really all that interesting. But the main reason why Metroid 2 was such an important game to Metroid's story, if you remember from my slideshow or PowerPoint presentation, you'll remember that Metroid 2 was significant because of the baby Metroid, which will help Samus throughout the events of 3, 4, and the most recent Metroid Dread. So, to some degree. But, yes. And as you're hearing in the background, you're hearing a beautiful rescore of the original Game Boy version's title screen music. And as you can look at in the background here, we do have the Metroid logo, and of course the background we have SR388, the main planet of the Metroids. So now to add some, now to actually open up a new file here, and as you can see I have 3 different files. So we have my top file, which is my first file that I started up back in 2020 that I took 22 in-game hours to beat. Then there's my second one, which only took me 3 hours, quite the time cut, I know. In-game time, of course. And then my most recent one, which also took me 3 hours, but I unfortunately had to do some save points along the way as I had other games that were, and schoolwork in general, that was keeping me busy with this from really getting, too far into this one. So before we get into it, let me show you the extras for this game real quick. And as we're going to the extras, I will explain to you again why this game was so significant, just more on it. So, as you can see, we do have some Metroid 2 art here. So, Samus Returns, right, is the first new 2D Metroid game at the time in 15 years. Since the last 2D Metroid Nintendo made at the time was Metroid Zero Mission, a remake of Metroid on the NES from 1986, which was released in 2004 alongside Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. and that was quite. And Zero Mission was really, really good, as it did exactly what most Nintendo remakes do, which is sit down and ask the player and just themselves in general, what were to happen if you took this classic game and make it so that it was. And instead just go into the mentality that was created today, right, or at the time, right, that this remake was released, and that's basically what this is, right? So, scrolling through the map, throwing through the Metroid 2 art here. Sorry, you can see all kinds of different enemies. Some of these enemies do get remastered versions for this remake, and other ones got completely cut from this one, unfortunately. So we got quite the nice bit of art here, which is quite nice. As you can see, we have about 37 of these. So we're just going to keep scrolling around. And you can see there's some upgrades. There's a bomb upgrade there. And there's Samus's original Metroid 2 pose, which, as you could see on my 3DS theme, which is based around Samus Returns, and that's also a rip from the box art, she has the exact same pose, which is awesome. Love that reference. Next up here, I would show concept art here from the actual game itself, but that's going to lead to some major spoilers for this game. So let's move into the Chozo memories. The Chozo memories are pretty important to this game, as the Chozo memories are 10 different screenshots that you can get, or sort of, not really screenshots as much as they are just, artworks detailing events that happen on SR388 before Samus arrives, and of course the events of Samus Returns take place. So I don't have all of them unlocked, as you do have to get all the items in the game, and to get all of these, but essentially I'll show you the ones that I do have completed. So this one here, if I can actually get up close to the screen for you, details some Chozo there. We got 3 different Chozo. We have these 2 Chozo right here, and then this guy, who is referred to as a Chozo Elder, and then you have some enemies in the background here. You have, this is a Moto right here. Down here you have a little Shoot Leech. Over here you have a Gravit, if the camera will focus, Gravit there. And then in the background you can see some other Chozo, some ancient structures, this big giant ship right here, and some other various different technologies there from the Chozo. This second one here details, I believe this is on the surface of the planet, showing off the Chozo harnessing a brand new energy source introduced in this game called Aeon Energy. Aeon Energy is brand new to Samus Returns and to the Metroid lore as a whole, and Aeon is described as a natural radiation that only exists on this one planet. And with the Aeon Energy that pretty much, exudes on all the flora and fauna of the planet, the Metroids use them to grow and evolve into bigger, stronger forms, and for other native flora and fauna, they use it as an energy source of sorts. And as you can see, this Chozo right here is harnessing that Aeon Energy from this dead guy right here, which is a Hornode, by the way. That's the species of alien that is. And then you can see a Gulug back here. That guy right there, little bat thing, stabbing into a Hornode, basically, for food. And as you can see, there's a couple other ones flying off with their prizes, which is kind of. And then this third one here details. Again, this is deeper in the planet, and you can see more Chozo doing something in the background here with these little displays. Then right here you have a Tsumori, the little snail guy down there. And then these are different Chozo robots, mining robots back here. But this big one here is actually going to play a pretty huge role in this game's story, and that is the Diggernaut. Diggernaut is brand new to Samus Returns and to the Metroid series as a whole. And basically, he in short is a Chozo robot gone rogue. And like I said, he's going to play a major role in Samus Returns' story. Next up here is the 4th Chozo memory, and this one details the X-Parasites. The X-Parasites are native to this planet as well, and they are pretty nasty, as they're going to cause Samus quite a bit of trouble going forward in the series. With the events of Metroid Fusion and Metroid Dread. Not so much the third one, Super Metroid, but, But in this graphic, as you can see, we have the X parasites and we have some Hornodes getting infected with the X, as that's what X do. They infect their hosts and mutate them into these horrifying versions of themselves. And essentially what they try to do is create chaos, spread around, and kill everything, turning them into these mutated versions of themselves. So the X are pretty bad mojo. Then this fifth one, which you can kind of make out here, I'm missing one piece of this graphic, but basically it details the biggest bombshell of Samus Returns' story, which I'm not going to talk about just yet. Next up here is the sixth one, and this shows the Metroids eating the X parasites again, this ties back to the fifth memory, which again I'm not going to explain too much of until later on in this playthrough. Same with this one. This one I can't talk about too much either. Same with this one. And then we have this last one, which I can talk about. This one features the Chozo here, and this guy is actually going to show up again in the fifth entry, Metroid Dread, which is also made by the same developers of this game, Mercury Steam. His name is Quiet Robe, and this guy over here is Ravenbeak, and he's going to be a really big threat in Metroid Dread, which I might play for you as well. Maybe when I see you again, I'll play it, but of course, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I think that's quite enough of that. So let's actually get into the game itself, and we're going to start off with, actually let's go into my third file, not into my first file. New game, yes, and we want to do normal mode. So, yeah, current data is going to be erased, alright. And now we have some story here. I'm going to read it for you, so you can pause and read it if you want to, but I'm going to read it for you. In the year 20X5 of the Cosmic Calendar, a Galactic Federation research team discovered an unknown life form on planet SR-388. Where they were able to successfully obtain a living sample, their research vessel was attacked by space pirates during their voyage home. This attack was no coincidence. The space pirates set their sights on these mysterious organisms called Metroids. They planned to replicate the sample and exploit its ability to absorb the energy of any life form. Their intention was to use Metroids as a weapon, one powerful enough to conquer the entire galaxy. To combat this threat, the Galactic Federation dispatched a lone bounty hunter to infiltrate the space pirate base on planet Zebes. Now, this is a reference to the first game, obviously not titled Metroid/Metroid Zero Mission, where Samus goes to planet Zebes and destroys the space pirates and Mother Brain, which you're going to see right here, actually. Against all odds, Samus Aran eradicated the Metroids on Zebes, in an area called Torian, by the way, and defeated Mother Brain, the leader of the space pirates, and so their sinister plans were thwarted. For a time. Concerned by these developments and by the great threat the Metroid species still pose to the galaxy, the Galactic Federation mounted another expedition to SR-388. A space squadron of elite soldiers from the Galactic Federation Police were dispatched to investigate. The team soon went missing, but not before transmitting a small sampling of data back to the headquarters. And by the way, if you're wondering who the Galactic Federation is, they're basically the government of this universe, and they're the ones that hire Samus for these missions. Analysis of this data confirmed a Metroid presence within the interior of planet SR-388. So long as they continue to exist, these Metroids would forever pose a devastating threat to the galaxy. The resulting decision of the Galactic Federation Council was immediate and unanimous. Samus Aran, you must exterminate the Metroids once and for all. So yeah, that's basically the plot of this game, is that Samus has to go to SR-388 and eradicate all 40 Metroids on planet SR-388. And let me tell you, it's not going to be an easy one. So, adjusting the camera again. And adjusting my screen again. You can see here, we have planet SR-388 there. And there is Samus going onto the planet. Absolutely glorious. So now Samus is going onto the planet here. She is now landing. So here it is, Planet SR-388. Pretty cool. So this is Samus's gunship right here, which by the way is massive. And again, now I think I should now go more into, again, the significance of this game. So, let me set the scene for you a little bit. It's 2017, where a lot of old franchises are making a grand comeback after being mishandled or just haven't gotten a new game in a while. Samus Returns is, or should I say, the game before this, 2010's Metroid Other M, was not exactly what Metroid fans were expecting from the series at the time. It was so bad, in fact, that it nearly defied the entire fandom of this game series, and things were not looking good. But then, all of a sudden, in 2017, 7 years after that travesty of a game, they released this by a brand new company, Mercury Steam. Now, who is Mercury Steam? Mercury Steam is a Spanish development studio that is most notable for working on the Castlevania Lords of Shadow duology. They, for a long time, have been wanting to make a Metroid game with Nintendo. So they made a pitch to Nintendo, and they wanted to do a remake of Metroid Fusion. Fusion didn't need a remake. It was already good enough as is. For a 2002 Game Boy Advance game, it was pretty good for what it was, and it doesn't need a remake yet. So what did Nintendo decide instead? Well, the lead developer Yoshio Sakamoto decided, instead of doing Metroid Fusion, let's remake a game that definitely deserves a remake more. Metroid 2 Return of Samus. And now here we are with the final project. And as you can see, this game has pretty outstanding soundtrack. As you just heard as I was running around on the Surface there, you were listening to the Surface SR-388 ambience, which to me sounds like the very franchise itself is waking up from its 7-year-long slumber at the time. And not only that, but it almost harkens back memories of journeys past, re-invoking memories of what made this series so fantastic to begin with. Really good stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pause and let you listen to this music for this beautiful piece. Pretty nice, isn't it? So Samus is pretty flexible in this game, and something you're noticing right off the bat, let me turn the volume down just a tad, is Samus has a brand new move in this game, and that was, as you saw, the melee counter. What Samus can do with that, as you can see, is that an enemy comes close to her, she swings her arm cannon like a mace, basically knocking the opponent back and stunning them, and then she can hit them with a fully charged power beam shot, which is fantastic. And also, you saw I got a new upgrade here, as that's what Samus's, let alone the Metroid series, is known for. Going and exploring these different planets, finding new upgrades, and finding the new path forward. And you don't only get upgrades from different rooms and different areas that you explore, but also enemies. Specific bosses can drop them as well, which is fantastic. Also, something else I love about this game is the detail. I mean, look at this. Look at this detail. You can see right there's a couple dead Galactic Federation soldiers right there. And also, as you notice, Samus also has another new move in this game, the 360 aim. So now Samus can aim in full 360 degrees, which is absolutely fantastic. As other Metroid games, you could only move up, you can only aim like slightly up, slightly down, and maybe you might be able to crouch and shoot something below you, but yes. So that is new. Something else that's new about this game is what you're seeing right here. This is an Aeon ability. And when you pick it up, it'll give you one of 4 different abilities. In this case, this one is the Scan Pulse. And what the Scan Pulse does is it essentially gives Samus the ability to scan for hidden blocks and hidden breakable passages, as you can see. And fuels special abilities like the Scan Pulse. Refill your gauge with the Aeon Orbs that may drop when you either beat them or successfully parry. Scan Pulse, as you can see at the bottom here. Let's get this bottom screen. Scan Pulse uses Aeon to scan an area. Use it to reveal map information and location of breakable blocks. Oh yeah, and here's a remix of the original Surface theme from the Game Boy. Here, take a listen. If that's not the happiest soundtrack you've ever heard in your life, I don't know what to tell you, man. If this song doesn't scream adventure, I don't know what does. But anyway, we got another cutscene here. Samus is just looking around as she does. And down here, oh, there's a Hornode hopping around. Oh god. And there is the Larva Metroid, doing what it does best. Sucking the life force from its host and leaving them a rotting husk. Lovely. Something else that's new to this game is, as you can see on the bottom screen you saw there, that blinking you heard, that is Samus's Metroid detector. So now, whenever Samus is close to a Metroid, it will go off, making a beeping noise, and it will also change colors from yellow to green to red, letting you know how close you are to the Metroid, which is great. Because something in the original Metroid 2 that really annoyed me is that you'd always get lost, wondering where a Metroid is. With this game, no longer a problem. Another missile over here. I will take that. Alright. And now we go in this room. And apparently the Aeon energy that he sapped from that Hornode was just enough to make it evolve into an Alpha Metroid. So this is the Alpha Metroid. This is the third form of the Metroid, as they have the egg, then they have the baby, then they have the larva, and then you have the Alpha. So sorry, that's not 3, that's 4. I can't map. That's just the 4th evolution of the Metroids, technically, in their life cycle. And we're going to see a whole lot more forms where that came from. So if you thought that was scary, trust me, they get a whole lot worse as you go along. So something you'll notice as well is that there's different types of doors. Some doors, you have to use a certain upgrade / weapon to open them. Other ones you can just shoot and they just open. And then there are ones that I like to call the damage doors, where essentially they take a good second or two to open. So, this is an energy tank. Basically that's your health for this game. And that guy didn't die properly. So as you can see, you have to time it just right to get the melee counter off. Which is great. Bam. Let's get out of here now. Kill that guy real quick. And now we have this thing. This is the Chozo Seal. This is what the Chozo used to lock the Metroids deeper into the planet by flooding it with acid that the Metroids can't cross. And the only way you can break the seal, as you just saw, is someone strong enough has to defeat the Metroids and get the Metroid DNA from them. And of course, that one person is Samus Aran, of course. So that is pretty cool. This right here is a teleportation system here. So what you can do is that as you're exploring the planet, this is also new to Samus Returns, and to the Metroid series as a whole, what you do is you have to find one, and then you find another one, and then you can teleport between different areas, which I think is pretty cool. So, and this is also new to Samus Returns as well, as this elevator here. It's not new to the Metroid series, but it's new to Samus Returns anyway, to the remake, is elevators. Samus used these a lot in the older Metroid games to go between different levels of the areas here, which is pretty nice. So, and then this right here is a save point. Again, not new to Samus Returns, but is new to the remake anyway. At least that sort of style of save point. So what you do is you step in that, and it'll ask if you want to save, and then you save it. Which is pretty nice. And it goes by pretty quick too, the save sort of animation that they have for it. Also, when you start up the game again from that save point, it will play a fanfare, like it does in every Metroid game, to signify that, of course, the journey is beginning, which is awesome. Or beginning again, I should say. So, as you can also see, some enemies have different variants. In this case, that thing is a electric Mohique, and essentially what they do is if they see Samus, they will shock the platform they're standing on. They're pretty easy to take out, as you can see, just 2 missiles to kill them. So, and then these gravits are also kind of a joke as well, as they pop out of the ground and attack Samus like so, trying to peck at her with their claws. But of course, I can easily counter that. Same with the Gulugs here, they try to attack me by using their spikes to try to dive at Samus and try to hit her with the spikes from their needle-like mouth parts, but of course, that's not going to work out too well, is it? I can just do that. So, and surprisingly, the melee counter doesn't get all that repetitive, as some bosses actually require that you use the melee counter for some of them. And there's also some other unique elements to this game as well, as, well, you'll see that later, but anyhow. I'm just gonna move over here, hop on over that. Got this guy over here, just gonna counter him. And then we got this guy down here, counter. Right, then we have these guys. These guys are called, oh god, what are they called again? I remember the other ones, but, oh god. Those things are kind of interesting, as you can see, they hover over Samus and they try to hit her with acid. And obviously, that does damage, but thankfully you can counter that, which is pretty cool. They don't tell you can counter it, you just kind of have to figure it out yourself, which is quite cool. That's something about the Metroid series I love as well, is that it shows you what you can do in terms of basic stuff, but they allow you, the player, to figure out how to use what you can do for different purposes. Pretty smart. So next, what I just got now is the bomb. So essentially what you can do with that is you can basically just use the Y button, which is your shoot button, to drop bombs and obviously break platforms with it. You can also jump with the bombs. And with the later upgraded version of the bombs, you can even shoot yourself off like a rocket with a move known as the Spider Spark. But of course, that doesn't come till way later in this game's runtime. Something else I love about Samus Returns in terms of gameplay is the fact that this is one of few games out there where you're fully aware of when the game starts and when you're getting close to the end, because the Metroid counter will slowly go down from 40 to 39 to 37. You know, it just goes down, and it's quite helpful, right? So as you can see, I found another teleporter here. And of course, in this cutscene, it's going to show the other teleporter I activated earlier. And it's hinting at now that, yeah, you can teleport between the two of them now. I'm not going to show that here, but later on I'll show how the teleporters work. And of course that there is water, and as you can see, Samus isn't exactly the best in water, but of course a later upgrade Samus will get will quickly fix that. Just going to quickly open that door with a charge shot, enter this guy, and hide guy. Alright, and then we got this guy over here. Yep. And something you may have noticed right off the bat is there's a lot of Chozo structures on this planet, which is great. Now we got the Ice Beam, which is the second beam upgrade you get in this game. And this one's pretty cool, as this one allows Samus to freeze different enemies with them, as you're about to see. And the Ice Beam is not new to Samus Returns. As a matter of fact, the Ice Beam was present in the original Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, so that's a really nice carryover. And of course, for this one, you can still freeze enemies with it. And as a matter of fact, the Ice Beam, and they don't tell you you can do this, but you can actually use it against the Metroids, at least specific forms of Metroid, to freeze them and make them more likely to trigger a melee counter response and or just weaken them in general. Which I think is pretty cool. Took me way too long to figure out you could do that, but it's really cool you can do that. And again, the game never tells you. I just happened to figure it out by just exploring and testing out my new weapons and whatnot to see what they can do on different things. Which is fun. So going down here, there is another upgrade hiding. In this case, this is the Spider Ball. So the Spider Ball is kind of an interesting upgrade, as with this, you can stick to different walls and surfaces. This was present in the original Metroid 2, but let me tell you, it was really gimmicky how you had to do it. In this one, it's way, way simpler. I just have to go in Morph Ball by double tapping my circle pad control stick to go down, and then from there, press the wrong button, and then from there, I can just hold my L shoulder and then just go like this, which is great. Also, if you're wondering what I'm playing this on, I am playing this on my Samus Returns Edition 3DS that released at the same time the game did on September 15th, 2017, which is fantastic. So as you can see now before, remember I could only melee counter. Now I can freeze the Metroid like that, and now it's more likely, as you can see, to trigger a melee counter, so that way I can damage him and take him out. So, something you may notice right off the bat, the Alpha Metroids are pretty weak, not all that strong. Since like all the Metroids in this game, I'm well aware of their patterns and how to strategically weaken them to take them out. But as I said, there are several different forms of this invasive species, and trust me, it's not going to get pretty later on, let me tell you. Since I played this game literally 69 times as of the time of this recording, and this is currently my 70th run at the time of this recording. So now I'm going to go up here, shoot that door down, this enemy. And something you might have also noticed is that I'm going about this game pretty fast. And reason why I am is because Metroid has a interesting, as the whole series in general, has a speedrunning requirement. If you don't know what speedrunning is basically where a player tries to complete a game as quickly as possible from start to finish. And in this case, this game was the first to really push the idea of the speedrunning concept, and it actually insinuates players to do it by giving you one of 3 different endings per difficulty mode, depending on how quickly the player beats the game. And in this case, in this one, they have different references referencing Samus's legacy and different artworks of Samus in the past, which is pretty cool. So if you beat the game in 10 or more hours, you'll get one ending. If you beat the game in, like 6 or less hours, you get another ending. And then if you beat it in 3 hours or less, you get another ending. And of course, you want to get in this case, you want to beat the game in 3 hours or less, because that's where you get the best ending. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's a pretty cool one. So, as a matter of fact, at the end of this playthrough, I'm going to actually show you all the different ending screens you can get in this game, as they're all pretty nice. As I've actually gotten all the endings in this game for all 3 difficulty modes. Normal mode, hard mode, and then the Amiibo exclusive fusion mode. Which I'll talk more about that last one in a little bit here. Okay, he did. So now to talk about that, that Metroid Fusion, Samus Fusion mode that I was talking about, Amiibo exclusive. That is, so with this game in 2017, there were 2 exclusive Amiibo figures you could buy. Now, what are Amiibo? Amiibo essentially are little Nintendo figures that have NFC technology in them that basically allows you to gain access to exclusive game features and also maybe even give you a little bonus in-game. Really just depends. In this case, this one probably had one of the more significant features of the Amiibo technology and the Amiibo, toy line for Nintendo. And that was with the Metroid Amiibo that would come with, it came in a 2-pack, at least here in the US. Those Amiibo came in a 2-pack, and the 2-pack included Samus and the Varia suits in her Metroid 2 box art pose that you saw on my 3DS theme at the beginning of this video, and then of course the and of course the Metroid Amiibo that's based on the larva Metroid you saw at the beginning of the game in that one cutscene. When you tap in that Metroid Amiibo after you beat the game, you'll get the Fusion mode, which is basically, you get to play the game again, but now you're in the Fusion suit that Samus uses in the 4th entry of the series, Metroid Fusion, and enemies in the game have 4 times the amount of damage that they did before, because that's the thing about the difficulty. Thankfully, with this one, the only thing the difficulty changes is how much damage enemies take. So in, in this normal mode, enemies have the standard damage amount. In the hard mode, I believe they have 3 times the damage, or maybe twice. I think it's either twice or 3 times the damage. And then in fusion mode, it's 4 times the damage. So, and again, Samus's suit changes to how it looked in Metroid Fusion, which is pretty cool, and that's including the suit upgrades you get in this game as well, which is just fantastic. Love that. So, and again, Mercury Steam, as I mentioned at the beginning, really love this game as for a brand new company stepping into the Metroid series. The first being, of course, Retro Studios when they developed the Metroid Prime trilogy, and currently they're developing the 4th entry, if you remember from my PowerPoint presentation, in CIS 1A. Mercury Steam, they developed Dread as well last year, if you remember, I talked about that, and oh man, it is so good. So if you enjoy Samus Returns, I'll definitely play Dread for you. It's very similar to Returns, but also it's vastly different in some ways. But a lot of the stuff you're seeing here, like the melee counter, 360 aiming, the graphics, all of that carries over. Same with the music as well. Not the exact same music, obviously, but just, music style to this one. So... And of course, in the description of this video, I will leave a link to a full playlist of the soundtrack if you want to listen to it for yourself, as it's really good. As it utilizes a lot of remixes from Samus's history, of exploring these different alien worlds. Not only that, but there's a lot of remixes from the original Metroid 2 as well that were beautifully modernized for this game. And in this case, what you're listening to right now is one of those remixes. In this case, this is a remix of the Area 1 Caves theme from the original Return of Samus, which is absolutely fantastic. So, and also for this game, I'm actually going to have to split it up into parts, obviously, and I'm going to split them up by areas, because there are 8 total areas in this game, so I think to get the most out of this playthrough, I think we're going to have to do 2, well, not I think, I know we're going to have to do 2 areas each for this playthrough, which is just fantastic as well. So, just navigating around now, I've got this guy here. Something else I love about Samus in this game is that something that was introduced in 2002's Metroid Fusion is that Samus can actually automatically crawl into Morph Ball when she sees a gap, as you saw many times I do in this game already. That was not something that was in the original Metroid. In the original Metroid games, you would actually have to manually crouch into Morph Ball and then get into the gap. In this one, she just automatically grabs ledges and goes into the gap if you push forward into the gap, right, on your control stick. In this case, my circle tap. Oh, crap. Missed that. So now in this area, a new enemy is introduced. This is the Moto. As you can see, they try to charge Samus upon, right? And then what you do is you melee power them, spin them around to their weak spots, and then you can hit them from there. But also, as you can see, I can just hit them with just 4 missiles, and that just kills them pretty quickly as well. So you have different options for how to take out different enemies, which I like as well. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. Right, so now we are in Area 2, which again has another beautiful remix from the original Game Boy version. Here, take a listen. Alright, and this one here is a sub-variant of Metroid, new to Samus games as well. This is the Evolved variant, is what this one's called. So the Evolved variants essentially are just the same thing, except now they use electric abilities, and they're much stronger than before, and much more aggressive. Yeah, you'll see the Evolved variant, sub-variant appear more often towards the middle and latter halves of this game's runtime. So up here I have to kind of shoot this missile like that, like that. Shoot that guy. And as you can see, I am very good at these controls, as that was something that people immediately complained about with this game when it first came out, is the controls. I personally love them. I think the controls are very, very nice, and as you can see, I am very much adept to how this game controls. So, especially for somebody who loves speedrunning this game, beating the game as quickly as possible, hence why I played this game almost 70 times as of the time of this recording. This currently being my 70th run. This game's fantastic, control-wise. And now we got a brand new Aeon ability, the Lightning Armor. So essentially what Lightning Armor does is it protects Samus against certain poisonous plants, and it can also protect her against from taking damage from enemies. And with these bugs here, I can just swat them away like that. So it's like it's a utilitarian Aeon ability. So you see these poisonous plants normally, these red ones here, if I step into them, Samus takes damage. However, when I have the thing on, no more damage. So pretty smart. And also, when you use the melee counter with the, what do you call it? The lightning armor, it makes it into a charged counter. So now it has more radius and does more damage. However, at the cost of Samus losing Aeon energy more than usual if she uses a melee counter with the lightning armor on. So it's a double-edged sword. This one, and also utilitarian at the same time. Now, not all Aeon abilities are like this. So Samus gets 4 Aeon abilities in this game. The first 3 that we get are actually pretty good. The last one we get, though, is not that great. You'll see. You'll see when we get there. I'm not gonna spoil it right now. And then we also have those things as well. That was a Fleech Swarm that we just ran into. And they're pretty nasty as they try to attack Samus. As they're like, they're just described as bugs that try to, that's similar to Earth Bees that try to swarm Samus and sting her, basically. But of course, you have the lightning armor. If you have the lightning armor on, they won't do much damage to you at all, if any. Because, of course, the Aeon energy will take a hit instead of your health, which is great. So now we move into the second sector of Area 2, which has a lot more exciting stuff going on. And spoilers, well, not really spoilers, but we actually get the next suit upgrade in this area, which is awesome. First of 2 suit upgrades Samus gets in this game. Because that's the most Samus gets in any Metroid game, is 2 suit upgrades. So, break that. Because what Samus is in now is her normal power suit. This is sort of, as I just said, the default power suit for Samus that, again, dates back all the way to the original Metroid, but now it's been, you know, has been redesigned for Samus Returns, which is really nice to see. Alright, he's dead. So, as you can also see, with some of these Metroids, they start employing new tactics, and also the runes change up the obstacles, so now you have some obstacles to work through. In this case, with that one, you have the water, which slows Samus down currently, so you have to be very, you know, careful of how you approach that particular fight, which is fantastic. Now, as I said, Metroids are not the only fights in this game. There are a total of 3 new/returning bosses in this game as well, that are non-Metroid based. One of which is new, and 2 are returning, I should say. And the first one I'm going to do right now is a returning boss. Now, there are 2 ways I could go about this boss. I could get the suit upgrade that was just where I was going to. Or, of course, I could always fight him. Yes, it is a he. In the normal power suit. And you know what? We're going to do it in the normal power suit this time, because I know for a fact I can handle him like this. So I'm just going to go take out those enemies there. I have to itch my nose. Worst time for my nose to itch ever. And take out this enemy. Take out that one. Take out that one. Shoot this guy in the face, as I do. You know, we'll go up here and we'll quickly take out these enemies on the top here. Just to be sure we have enough ammo and health to get through this boss. Not that I'm going to need it. But this is, again, another returning boss in the original Game Boy version. And if we shoot this ball, we'll see who it is. This is Arachnis. Now, Arachnis is a predatory species on planet SR-388, and this one that we face here is the last of his kind on the planet. So, as you can see, he is rowdy. Quite the rowdy one. So, And he also gets a brand new theme for this one, which actually references his older themes from not only the Game Boy version, but also from later entries like Metroid Fusion, where he reappears again as a early game boss fight, which is great. So now he is dead, as we do. Took a couple hits there, but you know what? It's fine, because now we get the Spring Ball. And Spring Ball essentially allows Samus to jump in Morph Ball form, and again, this is not new to the Metroid series, but however, it was new to the original Metroid 2, and of course, it returns here in the remake, which is fantastic. Now, normally, if I went the route where, of course, you get the Varia suit, and then you get another upgrade, which I'm not going to talk about here just yet, I would be able to jump high enough to reach that ledge right here. However, if we do this little technique, bada bing, bada boom, you can get over there easily. So, as you can see, there are different ways to go about different stuff, right? Now, for me, how I approach these different areas is I first start looking for upgrades. Fight any bosses I need to get certain upgrades I need, and then go fight Metroids. But of course, you can always not do that, and you could always go for the Metroids, and then collect any upgrades along the way type thing. So, like I said, there are options. You can explore however you want, get the upgrades to however you want to get them, face other bosses that you want to fight within what you're given, right? So, you know. So going into this area here, and the technique you just saw me do there is basically I just crouch into Morph Ball mid-air. I do that a lot when I play this game, as it helps Samus fall faster. Samus falls slower when she's in her normal form, but when you're in Morph Ball, you fall a lot faster, which I'm definitely going to need to use that later on in later areas, so that way I, again, can fall faster and you know, get to where I need to go a lot faster than I would do if I, you know, wasn't doing that. Those there that you just saw are called Wallfires, and they are a returning enemy from the original Return of Samus. And of course, they shoot fire at Samus, but of course you can block that using your, with your lightning armor. And now Samus has her Varia suit, as you can see. As, if you remember the red doors back in Area 1, if I tried to enter those, Samus would take heat damage. Now with the Varia suit, Samus doesn't take any heat damage, which is fantastic. So see, I can go in a hot area, and I'm fine. If I try to do that in the power suit just a few moments ago, I would get burned to a crisp. So, get that door down. Kill that guy. Now, as you can see, the ones that I ran past before were stronger ones that I need a certain upgrade to destroy. However, those golden Wallfires, I can just destroy, as you can see, with just 6 regular missiles. Which is great. And of course, I could also use later upgrades to destroy them as well, even more quickly. But for now, I just have the normal missiles, which is pretty cool. Okay. Alright, so in this area, we now get introduced to a brand new form. In this case, this is the 5th evolution in the Metroid's growth cycle, as we're about to see. This is the Gamma Metroid. Pretty fearsome looking, right? It takes everything that the Alphas were and just one-ups it by 100. As you can see, they're much more aggressive. They shoot lightning now. They're just very nasty guys in their Gamma forms. And of course, we're going to see a lot more of these Gammas going forward, as there are a lot of them you have to kill in this century. A lot of Gammas. And that's one of my problems with Samus Returns. Too many Gamma Metroids. Way too many of them that you have to defeat. and very little of the other variants you'll see later on. Really a shame. But, you know. And then, of course, the Game & Metroids have their own gimmicks later on, which, you know, aside from the ones that you just saw them do now. So, just gonna go past that little wall of fire there. Alright. Go up here. And as you can see, you can kind of see a little bit of the map there. Gonna just blow that up with a bomb. This guy is gonna do that. That guy. Okay. Now I get a wave beam. Now wave beam is nice because it shoots through platforms and walls and ceilings, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, I can now shoot through this wall. As before, the ammunition would just stop at the wall. Now they go through. And also, if you're wondering what this yellow ball is here, this essentially recharges your Aeon right there, which is pretty nice. Now, in some Metroid entries, like Metroid Zero Mission, those statues called Chorizos, which Chorizo basically translates in Japanese to Birdman statue, believe it or not. And even the Chozo name themselves comes from bird, it translates in Japanese to Birdman. I'm not even kidding about that. Those sometimes would heal Samus when you would go into its arm areas, like into its hands. And in some entries, like Super Metroid, the Chorizo would come alive and become a surprise boss fight for the player, which I think is pretty cool. In this game, they don't do that, unfortunately, which really sucks. But in the third entry, they do, which I think is pretty nice. So now I'm just going to take out these enemies over here. Shoot that wall. Okay, so it's going to go down here. I do got this door over here, which I can shoot. And in here, there are some pickups I can get. So I'm just going to quickly do that for you. Gonna kill that guy over there. Now, that thing that just fell from the ceiling that you saw as well on the surface, those are called rock icicles. And they basically function the same way they did in the original Metroid 2. They try to fall down and hit Samus. But of course, they're pretty easy to take out with a melee counter. You can missile them, you could shoot them with one of your beams. You know, you could bomb them maybe if you're lucky enough to actually get the bomb timing right. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. So there are two ways I could go about going about this path here. I could either go break this block with a bomb, go past the Fleet Swarm with my lightning armor, and then get into the other room, or I could go this way, through this crumble block, and then just go bypass that altogether. So as you can see, alternate paths, a lot of fun to explore. That's another reason why I love Metroid as a series, because of the exploration. It's so fun just seeing where you can go, finding new shortcuts, finding new paths. It's really fun stuff. And it kept me coming back, I mean, jeez. I played, like, literally almost every entry in this series. And I played this entry the most, with a total of 70 different runs. So you can tell, I really like this game. Hi, Jump Boots. So this is the upgrade I was talking about before, where you can now jump higher. As you could see, Samus only could jump like about that high before. Now she can jump all the way up here, which is awesome and really useful later on. Okay, kind of missed that guy with my missile, but whatever. It's fine. He wasn't really, it wasn't really required that I had to kill him, but you know. Just gonna grab energy from that guy. Oop, and that guy's dead. Okay. That guy's dead. Alright, come here. That's good. Oh, and also something else in this area that might surprise you is that this is actually a secret down here. You can break that. And here you have this healing area. So there's different stations hidden all over the planet in that similar vein to what I just showed you right there. That was a healing station. If you touch that, if you're on low health, it will heal you up to 100% health or energy, which is great. And then you also have red variants, which restore your missiles back to full capacity if you're low on missiles. It will also refill your bombs. It will also refill later upgrades as well. It's pretty cool stuff. So, something you might be wondering from the beginning, and I probably should answer this before, and that, of course, being, how do you have the Metroid 2, the soundtrack, the artwork, and the artwork from this game on your different save slots? I got those through the amiibo, as something that this game allows is that if you have the Metroid amiibos at the time, which were the Smash Brothers, Samus, and Zero Suit Samus, and of course the Samus Returns Samus Aran and Metroid amiibo, you can unlock different things. In this case, I believe it was the Armored Form Smash Brothers Samus Aran figure amiibo. You could tap that one in, and you could get, I believe that one on, it gave you a Aeon Reserve, I think is what they called it, and I believe it also gave you the Metroid 2 artwork, I'm pretty sure. Either that or it was the Samus Returns Samus Aran one that did it. I'm pretty sure the Smash Brothers one, I think actually gave you, I believe it was an Entertainment Reserve, and I believe it unlocks the soundtrack for you. I'm pretty sure the Metroid not only unlocks the, the Metroid's actually, Amiibo has some interesting purposes you can use it for as well. As you can not only unlock Fusion Mode with it, you can also unlock, what was it? You can also use it to find Metroids on the map, as Metroids are something the game subtly shows, and of course the original Metroid 2 does it as well, is where the Metroids are, without even having to use the Metroid detector. In the original Metroid 2, it would kind of show you where they were, the Metroids were. Yeah, it was really bad, but anyway. With these husks here. So basically, if you tap on the Metroid amiibo, it will show you the next husk available to you. So that way you can look for Metroids with that. So basically, the husks serve as sort of like a marker to let you know, hey dude, there's Metroids over here, you should probably look around here. Which I think is pretty cool. So, but of course, Samus Returns expands on that idea by, of course, using the Metroid detector, so that way you really know where the Metroids are, instead of having to rely on the husks to kind of give you a rough idea of where they are. So. Come here, dude. You're mine. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. Yep, you did. So you might be wondering what's going on the touch screen here on the bottom. The touch screen is reserved for, let me show you, pause real quick. Here on this, you can do several different things with the bottom screen. With this, pressing the L trigger shows you the Aeon abilities you have. In this case, I have Scan Pulse, and I have the Lightning Armor. And as you can see, as I touch down, you can see it will describe them for you, which is pretty nice. Pressing the R trigger brings you back to the map screen, and here you can look at the map. You can see like all the different areas I've explored, all the different landmarks and whatnot. There's even a legend for this map that will show you, let me see where that is. I'm pretty sure it's on the eye. Yeah. So it'll show you like this marker stands for Samus, this one stands for Energy Tank, this one stands for Missiles, an acquired item, acquired, Chozo Steel, inactive, Gunship, Doors, defeated Metroids, all that sort of stuff, which is pretty nice. Or as they call them, map icons. Then this one, which has a little pencil on it, this is your pin. So what you can do is that if there's a room that you want to explore and you don't want to forget about it, what you do is you use the touch screen, and using the included stylus with every 3DS, you can touch it, drag it onto the map, plop it down, and then it will save that location for you. And they have different colors, so that way you can distinct them through each one or whatever. So if you see like a hot area, you can mark it with a red one. If you see a green, like a cold area or something, or a wet area or something, you could use like blue maybe. So there's, and of course if you want to get rid of them, you just tap the corner there and you can get rid of them, which is pretty nice. And you have a total of 10 pins you can place on the screen at one time. Next up here is the amiibo. So what you can do here is you can touch an amiibo and it will do different things for you. And if you touch the L and R, it will give you a description of what the exclusive amiibo do. So in this one, it says here you can use a Metroid series amiibo to unlock fusion mode. You can access this mode after beating the game. Using the amiibo while playing it will mark the position of the nearest Metroid on your map. As I just explained before, the mark will remain inactive until the Metroid is defeated. So that is nice. If you press the R trigger, it will tell you right here, you can use a Metroid series amiibo, Samus Aran amiibo, or a Super Smash Bros. Series Samus or Zero Suit Samus amiibo to unlock new gallery content, up to 3 types of reserve tanks. Reserve tanks automatically refill Samus's resources when they reach 0. They can only be refilled at corresponding recharge stations. So there you go. That's basically what all the amiibo do for this game, which is pretty cool. And of course, you would tap them on that little marker there to register them in with the NFC. Now the R trigger here on the regular map screen shows Samus there, so here is Samus in her Varia suit, very nice artwork by the way. And then here you can look at the different upgrades she has. So you can see the basic power beam, the charge beam, ice beam, wave beam, and see it kind of describes them and how to use them. This is the standard missile. Up here is the bomb. Over here is the Varia suit, sorry, the bomb. And you have Varia suit, morph ball, spider ball, spring ball, and high jump boots. And also, as you can see, let me pause again. You can see her energy, how many missiles she has at the moment, and how much Aeon she has in reserve. So really, really cool. So Samus has a total of almost 400 health right now, which is kind of crazy. Because each one is, I believe, 99 health each. Because I'm pretty sure Samus has an extra 2 hidden ones, as well as the ones you can see visibly on screen. So I'm doing really bad here at defeating enemies real quick. Hold on, let me reposition the 3DS. There we go. So that way I can actually play the game and not be hampered by the weird position I had it in. So something else that I probably should have mentioned about the Ice Beam and how you can freeze Metroids with it is that in the original Metroid 2, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing you could do. But in Samus Returns, you can. Which I think is absolutely fantastic. Like, yes, the Ice Beam would do damage to a Metroid in the original Metroid 2. But it wouldn't freeze them like it does in Returns, which is pretty cool. That Returns decided to actually freeze them over. which again ties to not only the lore of the Metroids themselves and their established weakness, but it also just makes sense from a gameplay standpoint to have them freeze over when you shoot them with Ice Beam on their weak spot. That's not talking to that guy. Hold on. Just gonna kill him real quick. As you can see, those things she's picking up are the Metroid's DNA. So Samus has a total, as you can see on the bottom screen here, of 6 Metroid DNA. She needs 8 to get to the next area. And you can also see that the Metroid total there has now gone down to 28 Metroids still present on the planet, which is pretty cool. Alright, he's dead. So, yeah. Something else I love about Samus Returns is how the Metroids actually appear from the background sometimes. Samus Returns is the first Metroid to really utilize the background elements in the 3D here, because of course it's on the 3DS. And if you get this game for yourself, I doubt it, but if you do happen to get this game for yourself on a 3DS system, not the 2DS family, the 3DSs, and you utilize the 3D. Of course, I would show the 3D here, but I can't because it's not going to look very good on the camera, because the camera doesn't exactly pick up on the 3D very well. But, yeah, the 3D just looks really, really nice. And I think I accidentally hit the teleporter a bit too early. Yep, I did. Oh, there's one more Metroid I missed. Let me go back. Let me go back to the second one. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to teleport back this way. And now to go get that last Metroid I missed. Because I know I missed one. I was too busy talking, not focusing on the game. This is what I get. Anyway. Oh, die. Alright, well that was a super delayed melee counter. What the heck happened there? Anyway. There we go. Now it's timed right. Okay. And go up here. Yeah, this last Metroid's so annoying because you have to go all the way over here. I don't know why they had to do it like this. And high jump doesn't help because it's too high for high jumps, so great. But then again, to be fair, it could be a lot worse. To be fair. And plus, the original Metroid 2 had this Metroid in the exact same location, sort of style. So, you know. I'm gonna dodge that guy real quick. Can you melee counter me again? Do it, I dare you. Oh, you stupid! Ah, come on. I thought I had him. Alright. Let me try it up here. Okay, he's gonna do his little lightning thing. Alright. Dang it, missed my XP. And I'm missing my missiles too, great. I am so good today. Oh, okay. Yeah. Come on! My ice game is so bad today. Hey, come on. Nope. There we go. Got it this time. Melee counter, I dare you. That's what I thought, dummy. I was about to say, you're a melee counter me? I didn't think so. because I know for a fact that he was not gonna melee counter me, because that would have been the most poor choice could have ever made. So that little ping you just heard is basically the Metroid detector telling me, hey, idiot, go back to the Chozo Seal. So we're gonna go back to the Chozo Seal, and this time I'm probably gonna have to go on foot. I could use a teleporter like I usually do to just get back to where I need to go, but you know, at this time we're gonna do it on foot the whole way. It's not that long of a walk anyway, so it's not bad. Not all that bad. Back over there. That guy's dead. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm using a lot of missiles here. And that's because I could use my normal beam, but literally it takes forever to kill some of these guys. And especially with how quick these guys melee counter, you need to be quick. So missiles are like my go-to now, at least for a little bit. And then use my beam attack for whenever an enemy manages to get a melee counter off on me. Or trigger one anyway. A melee counter response, so... That guy's dead. That guy's dead. Okay. Oh, get in there. Oh, come on! That's not fair. How was I supposed to see him there? Get over there. Yep. Get over here. Alright, you're dead. Alright. Then we can go down this little shortcut and, of course, get some missiles while we're at it. And then, bada boom, baby, we're done with Area 2. Just that quick. Yep. This game goes by fast. Again, because of the handheld nature of it, it kind of has to go fast, especially for the speedrun requirement as well. If you want to, like, really 100% this game. Well, 100% complete it. So it kind of has to be short in some areas. So that's all 8 Metroids dead, just like that. Jeez, this video's going on an hour long, good lord. So yeah. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to end things for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. This has been part 1 of my final gift, my special gift to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do let me know in our private text message if you did enjoy it, and if you want to see part 2, I could upload that early for you, but you know, so just do let me know if you want to see more. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Later, Professor, and have a great summer.